G'day everyone, welcome back to another video on the channel. So today we are returning with always a fan favourite on the channel. Going to be going over and picking the best team you can build from the 2024 AFL season, but it must include a player from every single club. Pretty straightforward, there are 18 positions, there are 18 AFL clubs, so I've got to pick a player from each team. It's just all hypotheticals, but we still want to try and structure the team well. We want to balance it with obviously top quality players this year, but also playing players in the right positions. We don't want to go with all inside midfielders. We want to have a good blend and some small forwards we want to include as well. So yeah, we just can't go with every single best player in the team necessarily. We do have to sacrifice and adjust accordingly. So feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you're going to enjoy, and let's get into it. So we start with the Adelaide Crows. I was going to go Jordan Dawson. He was the best player for Adelaide this year, which is fair. Isaac Rankine only played 15 games, I know, but if he was going to play a few more, if he didn't get suspended, he would have had an All-Australian blazer around himself. So I'm going to go with him and put him in the forward pocket. He can also run through the midfield, but just a superstar. This guy is really exciting player to watch and can always break a game open. So a very, very ideal small forward to kick things off. We'll move across now to the Brisbane Lions, the premiers of this year. Good go, Lachie Neale. Awesome second half of the year. And Jesus, class really shone through. But Harris Andrews, it's hard to go past a player like him. One of the best interceptors in the AFL this year. I'm going to put him in the back pocket because he usually plays on the third tall types. He doesn't necessarily play on the opposition's best forward. And in this team, let's say, he could play on someone like that and allow two other lockdown types to play their role whilst Andrews, because he sets up the play really well with his tempo and etc. And he's a general back there, so him in the back pocket, very ideal. Carlton now. Buddy Cripps. I mean, we can't exclude this guy at all. He was the best player in the AFL this year. If you did pay attention or did watch my top 50 AFL plays, make sure to check that out if you haven't already. It's got to be Cripper. Right in the centres he does go. An absolute brute force he was, and so good in traffic. So yeah, you've got to have a star like Cripps in there given what he showed in 2024. And that's sort of similar with this guy for Collingwood, Nick Daicos. We're going to put him on a wing. Now, this is where it gets a little bit debatable. Yes, Daicos wasn't on the wing this year, but would you put a statistic-wise or numbers-wise a good wingman this year over a superstar like Nick Daicos? You wouldn't really, and he's overqualified to play on the wing. He's that good. He doesn't play on the wing. He plays on the ball. It's more of a role player's position on the wing. I still feel a little bit, but players do rotate throughout the games a wee bit. But yeah, he'd be a star winger for sure should he play there. And he's a bit more. He's very good on the inside, but he's really good on the outside. Even better there. So him on the wing does seem ideal, but a star year he had. Essendon, really only two options, Zach Merritt or Nick Martin really do come to mind. I know Stringer kicked 40 goals, but again, I think it's just hard to go past a player like Merritt or Martin. Martin had a few iffy games by foot this year, rather go with a bit more class across half-back. So I'm going to go with Zach Merritt and put him on the wing again. Again, he's been on the wing before in All-Australians, and it's like Daicos. He's an inside mid, not a winger, but he's very good on the outside, and he's defensively hard-working too, and he's just able to get into really good spots around the midfield and in stoppage too, and he could even push into the stoppage and win it too, and very good inside 50 as well. Fremantle, another midfielder here, Caleb Strong. He's going to go right into the followers category. One of the better inside, or one of the best inside midfielders in the AFL this year. He might be small, but he just burrows himself in there, wins those hard balls so cleanly and expertly. For the Cats now, I'm going to go with Jeremy Cameron right on centre half forward. He does go over 60 goals this year. Yeah, he piled them up late, but had a really promising, a very good final series. And yeah, centre half forward, ideal position for him because he can push up the ground and watch him really dominate. So Jeremy Cameron for the Cats. For the Gold Coast Suns now, I'm going to go a little bit left field here. You think of, Sam Flanders, highest averaging disposal good, I think, or one of the highest in the defense for the defenders, even Matt Rowell and Noah Anderson. But I'm going to go with Sam Collins. If you do tune into the channel quite regularly, you know how much I've rated this guy this year. He's a perfect type to have as a fullback. You allow Harris Andrews to roam freely a bit, but then you have Collins playing the lockdown, playing on the opposition best forward. A dominant player. He was 1-1 this year, rarely beaten, and player ratings wise actually was one of the better key defenders in the AFL. So there you go. And he did make the All-Australian squad as well. So Collins in full back. For the Giants, Jesse Hogan. We've got to start filling in the forward line a little bit, and the couple mentalists, it's just not really many many people are going to turn their heads with this selection. Let's be real here. Perfect full forward option. And yeah, just such a great one out marking option as well. For Hawthorn now, was considering Sicily, but got to go with the All-Australian Dylan Moore. He'll go in the forward pocket. Could put him on a half forward line, but with how the team is structured, got to put him, stick him in the forward pockets. But yeah, he can play as a deep forward really well, but yeah, obviously plays his best when he pushes high up the ground. Great with scoring involvements this year, is able to kick goals, get his teammates highly involved. Yeah, really good player to watch this year. For Melbourne now, not really many options, so it just has to be Max Gawn. He's going to be our ruckman, and he was the All-Australian ruckman this year, so pretty understandable. Like, yeah, Petrarca you'd probably put in the team if it's just overall ability-wise, but he did have an injury-interrupted year. We are basing it off 2024 form, let's remember. So Gawn, best ruckman this year. North Melbourne, going to go with LDU here. Would go Tristan Xerri. I was considering Harry Sheezel, but got to go the best and fairest with LDU, and he'd be great in a midfield like this because Paddy Cripps and Sarong very good on the inside, but then you got LDU as that extra midfielder that can go in and just burst his way and charge his way through stoppages and win plenty of centre clearance. He's one of the better clearance players in the AFL. Yeah, I mean, if he was playing in a better team, geez, he'd really... reputation would be a lot higher. No offense to North fans, but if he was in like a top 4 side, I'm trying to put, yeah, his stocks would be very sky high, but a good player. Port Adelaide now, going to go with Dan Houston here. He'll slot into the back pocket. Not really a back pocket type. He's more of a halfback flanker. One of the better ones, or one of the best halfback flankers in the AFL. Keen to see how he goes to the Pies. I feel like he's going to be significant for Collingwood in my eyes because he's such a lovely kick of the ball. But he's great defensively and especially in the air with his intercept marking. So in the back pocket, he does go. Richmond now. Now this is where... yeah, the thorn does hit the side a little bit. You've got to include a Tigers player. No offence to Tigers supporters, but wooden spooners this year. A lot of key players injured too, so that makes it a bit tricky as well, and only 2 wins. But it's hard to go past Dan Rioli. Clearly the best Tigers player and most consistent this year. Best and fairest recipient. He's across now to the Suns. But I thought he's always been underrated, I feel. When you talk about the pure rebound halfback flankers in the comp, he's so fast, and he just gives plenty of drive. And he's going to be a really good get, I do believe, for the Suns. But yeah, best and fairest for Wooden Spooners side, with a lot of key injuries out, just has to be Rioli. So got to free up the halfback flank for Rioli there. Cross now to St Kilda. Going to go Jack Sinclair here. This will complete the halfback line. We still have the centre halfback to remain, sorry, but the 2 halfback flankers are in the team there. And yeah, that's probably the most quality you're going to get when you have to pick a player from every club, because Sinclair was just highly consistent this year. Like, yeah, he didn't make the All-Australian, but just week in, week out, able to float in the midfield too. He just has a terrific knack on being able to find the footy and rebound, and his kicking's class too, and a highly energetic player too, and accumulation. That's always what associates with elite players as well. So Sinclair, good across half back. For the Swans now, we did have Gordon last year, and I was considering him, but it's just got to be Isaac Kearney. And yeah, we're going to do a bit of an All-Australian type and put him on the half-forward flank, but he has, in the past, been able to play, or he has played pretty much as a predominant forward. Like, yes, he was mainly a midfielder, but throughout patches of games, Horse would float him forward and make him one out within the goals, or just stick him on the half-forward line, come off the half-forward and come into stoppage. But yeah, he's the ideal half-forward type, and he was there in the All-Australian team at a half-forward flank. So Heaney does go there, and one of the best players in the AFL this year. What a joy to watch. Eagles now, centre half back option is still remaining. You look at the Eagles, it's quite simply here. Jeremy McGovern, All-Australian this year, finally was able, for the most part, to have an injury-interrupted year, an injury-free year, sorry. But he did get those bruised ribs, I'm pretty sure, so he did miss a little bit of footy, but yeah, he was tough, he was a brick wall, and he was awesome in the air. So look at that with the defence. You've got Collins and McGovern. McGovern, brilliant intercept-wise. Collins, very good one-on-one-wise. And then Andrews, a bit behind the ball, just dictating the play with his intercept ability. So three quality key defenders there. And that remains with the Western Bulldogs. And yeah, you're seeing the half-forward line. It's got to be Bontempelli. And to be fair, he had a lot of games on the half-forward flank this year. And he had a lot of... when there was a lot of centre bounces for the Dogs, he was actually starting off from the goal square. So I feel like he does qualify to go on a half-forward flank here. And look at that half-forward line. You've got Heaney that can pinch in the midfield, but he can also play as a deeper forward. Like, he could play in the pocket, one out, and then you have Dylan Moore a little bit higher up the ground. And then Bontempelli can also float in the midfield too, or also go deeper. So yeah, that's pretty much the team complete, everybody. So it's always a fun video to do. But yeah, pretty well balanced side, I do believe. And as I say again, yeah, some players like Daicos and Merritt Wood on the wing. But would you put an actual pure wingman over a superstar? You've got to find the balance, and I feel like we've found that with small forwards and midfielders that can also play forward, and a good balance of midfielders too. So yeah, feel free to let me know what your team would be like. It's always a fun video to do at the season's end. So that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you do go on to enjoy today's video. The draft is coming up later this month, so we'll get some draft content videos out, which should be pretty good. Thanks very much for tuning in, everybody, and I'll talk to you later. See you later, fellas.